Wow. We were all humming the theme here. It's catchy. Admit it. Do you want it as a phone ring? Because you could probably download it. Anyway, welcome to Punchlines. I'm Frank Nicotero, longtime comedian, lifelong sports fan. And why am I hearing the theme again? We were just talking about how much we love the theme, ladies and gentlemen. So we played it again. I'm wearing a Christmas present to myself. This is it's a Grinch hoodie. And if it gets chilly, it's really cold here, ladies and gentlemen. It's in the 50s here in Nevada, not Nevada. So my blood's thinned from the desert, although I lived in LA for 27 years. Anyway, today's show number is over twice as long as the Detroit Pistons losing streak, which hit 27 games last night, and fans aren't loving it. Poor Detroit. So, by the way, the spread on this game was 6.5, I believe.
It was 6.5.
It was 6.5. Sean, who did you have? You had the team that lost. You had the Pistons. The Pistons covered. That's the bulletin here, ladies and gentlemen. The fans are not happy in Detroit. But listen, Detroit, you got the Lions.
So it was at 5, right?
Okay.
And then McCall Bridges misses 2 straight free throws.
Okay.
Pistons get the ball. They turn it over. Cam Johnson then gets free throws. He makes the first, pushes it to 6, misses another one, so still 6. The Pistons then turn over the inbounds pass. McCall Bridges gets fouled again, and he misses both free throws again. You're telling me he's not betting NBA basketball?
There's something going on.
That's a ridiculous call.
Call Tim Donaghy. Wasn't he the guy? He was the NBA ref that was shaving points.
There might be a lot of players.
So Cam Johnson, you like Cam Johnson because he went to
former Tar Heel. Yep.
But where did he go before North Carolina?
Couldn't tell you.
University of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He went to University of Pittsburgh.
Stayed in the ACC.
He's a great player. I know, but because very few guys have gone on the Panthers to the pros. But he was awesome, and then he left. I was like, damn it, because he was really good, and he killed it at North Carolina. And he's a good pro.
Yep, good shooter.
So anyway, the Detroit Pistons, you've lost 27 games in a row. That's an NBA record for single season, but the all-time NBA record is 28 by the Philadelphia 76ers. But that was spread over 2 seasons. It was like at the end of one and the beginning of another. So they're going for the record all by themselves, single season. And who do they play tomorrow night, Ryan?
They play in Boston.
In Boston against the Boston Celtics. So let's go ahead and put them down right now for 28 in a row. There's no way they're beating Boston.
Yeah, that would be an upset.
Right. The line is not out, but what is that line? Sean, what is that line going to be in your opinion? Or Ryan, what do you think? Celtics versus Pistons?
It'd probably be close to double digits.
I was going to say
more.
10 or 11, right?
Yeah.
14? Higher? I know. Well, we'll see. We'll know tomorrow. But poor Detroit Pistons, look, they've won some titles. They have their banners. They're going through a rough time. The Tigers are decent. But, hey, Detroit, you got the Lions and Eminem and Kid Rock. Oh, wait. But anyway, you have the Lions, who could be a number 1 seed. You never know. There's a way it could play out where the Lions are the number 1 seed. It's not far-fetched. I'm a Lions fan, so I'm rooting for the Lions. All right. On today's show, from the newest show here at Sopo Studios, it's Race Day Las Vegas with Ralph Siraco. I finally said it correct, Race Day Las Vegas. But it is live. I always like to throw live in, but all our shows are live right here. We're here at the lovely Sportsbook and Casino right behind me. There you can see the Sportsbook. And the horse racing is over there, which Ralph will talk about. So if you've never bet horse racing and you like horses and you want to know some tips, Ralph's going to fill you in. This guy's a legend here in Las Vegas, and his show is doing great here. It's those days that it airs. Everyone knows the days that it airs. Wednesday through Sunday. You can watch Race Day Las Vegas with Ralph Siraco, and it's on early. It's on because
7 to 8 a.m.
7 to 8 a.m. Pacific, because the horse races are early, and we want to get you some winners. I know Santa Anita just opened, which I used to always go to outside of LA, which is one of those beautiful tracks. So maybe he can give you a winner there tomorrow. So make sure you watch that show. But he'll be here. And then later we have Josh Yohe. Josh Yohe is here to talk some pucks and pigskin. I came up with that little alliteration, pucks and pigskin.
Pretty good.
Pretty good one. I liked it. I was very proud of myself last night when I typed that. I had pucks and hockey, and then I went, no. Backspace, pucks and pigskin.
Pucks and hockey.
Yeah, but I like pucks and pigskin.
Pucks and hockey is the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Pucks and football. So Jerry's leaving for the day? Is this how this works? Jerry's leaving already? We're like 4 minutes into the show. He's taking off. It's too much. I said Pittsburgh. I only said Pitt once. I said Pitt. I said it twice. All right, sorry. All right, Jerry, we'll see you. What kind of schedule is this? What is this? Works 4 minutes and he leaves?
He's got things to do.
It's gone. The show, it's me and you, Ryan. All right. Anyway, today is December 27th, 2023. It's National Samuel Day. My dad's name, Samuel, miss your dad. And it's National Visit the Zoo Day. And there's a little graphic there. National Visit a Zoo Day, because there's nothing better than going in late December to walk around on cold, wet cement looking at caged wildlife. I love going to a zoo. What's your favorite? I've never been to a Vegas zoo. Does Vegas have a zoo?
They had one when I was growing up, and then it closed down, but they're bringing it back. Should be opening in 2025.
So there was a Vegas. I would think, though, it just gets too hot in the summer for the animals.
Yeah.
Is that why it shut down, or was there a scandal?
No one was going to it.
No one was going to the zoo.
Yeah.
I guess when you come to Vegas, you're not like, let's go see animals, because you could go to, although I think there's like that spearmint rhino. Is that a zoo? I was going to go there.
Yeah, there's some animals there.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of animals,
okay.
yeah.
Anyway, it is, by the way, I've been to a lot of national zoos. It's a good day. It's a good day.
Yeah.
But the Vegas Zoo's coming back?
Should be.
All right, well, we'll cover that. It's episode 55, baby, the double nickel. And when I think show 55, I think 55 is an angel number. I don't know what this means, but I saw it on the internet. 55 is a powerful number as energies and attributes of the number 5 are doubled, amplified, and reinforced. The number 55 is a message from your angels that it's time to let go of the old that is no longer positively serving you and get ready for big changes to take place in your life. Did you know this about the number 55?
Well, yeah, I've had some numerology things.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Go on, Ryan.
Well, there's one crazy one that it's going to be too much to explain, but.
Okay. That's why Jerry had to leave, because he heard you were going to explain
right.
some numerology. He's like, I'm getting out of here.
Anyway.
All right, yeah, numerology. Anyway, be prepared for huge changes when repeating angel number 55 appears. When I think of 55, I also think when Michael Jordan scored 55 on his comeback, right? And Spike Lee they did a Nike commercial. Michael comes back, drops the double nickel at the Garden. I'd never heard that term till Spike Lee. Spike Lee's taught me so much. Anyway, there you go. But okay, so number 55 jersey. Now I didn't look any up because I'm liking this process of you surprising me. All right, let's hit it. Here we go. Wow, Junior Seau, longtime Charger, played with the Dolphins, I think, for a couple years at the back end of his career. Right, tragic end to his story, but man, Terrell Suggs, T-Sizzle. All right, we were filming Street Smarts in Arizona. Did I tell this story before that he was on the show? Okay. No. So they're like, hey, you got to interview this guy. He plays for Arizona State. His nickname's T-Sizzle. He's an All-American. And they bring up Terrell Suggs, and we interviewed Terrell Suggs right outside a movie theater. And there's one of the biggest crowds we've ever had watching because the guy was BMOC. I had no idea who he was. That's big men on campus, Ryan. BMOC. Ralph knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, so Terrell Suggs, we interview him, and he does great. He's hysterical, lots of energy. We flew him back into the studio where Revenge Week happened on the show, where people who I kind of made look silly, they could come back in and win some money. But he signed a football for me because the draft was coming up. I'm like, man, if you became, who are you going to be? So he's like, nah, Baltimore is going to take me. And he was right. And now he's a future Hall of Famer. He just retired a few years ago. But, God, I hated him. Love to hate him. Great guy. Really funny guy. But anyway, happy 55 to Terrell Suggs. Derek Brooks, another linebacker, feared. He's a Hall of Famer, right, with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That guy was awesome. Lance Briggs, you had to squeeze the Bears in there.
Yep.
Dikembe Mutombo. Dikembe, where is he? Oh, there he is. Wait, you even have him waving the finger, or is that a fist? I can't tell.
Yeah, he's waving the finger.
Dikembe Mutombo, quick story. He was at a club. I had some friends there. Dikembe Mutombo was there, and he walks in, and of course the club, he stands out. The guy's 7 foot tall. He has an entourage. And according to legend from a friend of a friend, he sat down in the VIP booth and went like this, very loudly, "Who want to sex Mutombo?" Whether it happened or not, but I don't know. That's a true story. Oral Hershiser, one of the most dominant years in baseball history, 1988, when the Dodgers won the World Series against the heavily favored Oakland A's. That was when Kirk Gibson hit the home run. And he broke the record for scoreless innings pitched. He broke Don Drysdale had pitched 58 2/3. Hershiser was only going to be able to tie it. Last game of the year, his last start was against the Padres in San Diego. Scoreless game. He pitches the 10th inning and gets the record. Am I right?
Yep.
All right. This is a fun game we're doing here because I'm not looking at what you put up, and I'm just amazed that I remember that season so vividly. Oral Hershiser, and then I met him the same place I shook Wayne Gretzky's hand, Houlihan's, right down from the Funny Bone. when I started stand-up, and I met Earl Hershiser, and he couldn't have been a nicer guy. The game had got rained out, and I met Earl Hershiser. Then you got Hideki Matsui, who supposedly was going to help bring Yamamoto to the Yankees. That was the done deal, that he was pushing him, and that didn't happen. Matsui was a beast in the World Series, though. And then you have a name, Tim Lincecum. This guy was the most dominant pitcher in the league for a while, about my height. But they always said when they drafted him and when he first came out, he's not going to last a long time because he had that really weird pitching motion where he brought his arm from down here and it's like knee almost dragged. So it was way too much torque on the arm and shoulder, and he won't last. And, I mean, look, the guy won, I think, 2 Cy Youngs, back-to-back Cy Youngs, couple World Series with the Giants, if not 3. Unbelievable pitcher. Tried to hang on with the Angels, I think, and wasn't so good. But his dad taught him this unorthodox style. And then the last one, of course, is someone I've never heard of. Keegan Colasar. Cup champion with the Knights. He's great. Now that you said the name, I actually know that name, I think.
You think. Yeah.
We know who the guy is walking into the studio right now.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Trying to make sure. This could be one of my crazy fans. I don't know. Why isn't Earl in the Hall of Fame? Reno Paul wants to know. I don't think his career was long enough, right? That's one of those knocks these guys. For a string of 2 or 3 years, the Bulldog, he could be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if he would be a Veterans Committee. His career stats aren't that great, right? Maybe, I don't even know if he has 200 wins, Earl Hershiser. I remember him going to the Indians, and he hung on for a while with them.
Oh, he does. 204, 150 losses.
204. Okay. Yeah. I mean, he's borderline. All right. Mindar's here. South Point loves horse players. That's why we got Ralph coming in. Horses better than sports. Can make thousands for small amounts. Sports needs to be, sports bet a lot. Takes hours or month for some wins. Well, if you bet futures, that's true. Horses are instant.
Yep.
Parimutuel betting. Ralph's going to be here any second now.
Talk
about it quickly. Let's go on. It's bowls. We got a lot of bowl games today. There's a bowl game going on already. Tulane. There's a replay, so of course I can't see the score. But if you want to know, Buffalo Bills and Chargers are scoreless.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a game from last week. You should take Buffalo on that game, dude. Run to the book right now. Run to the book. Put $400 minus 14. I don't care what the spread is.
What about the Chargers to cover?
The Chargers to cover? Yeah, maybe. All right, we got a lot of bowls today. Today's bowl, military bowl's going right now. Of course, now the sideline reporters report. There's the score. Tulane's actually down. Virginia Tech's up 10-7. What else? We have the Duke's Mayo Bowl, which I know everyone right now is thinking, oh, Frank's going to eat mayo tomorrow. Nope. Holiday Bowl, I have a future on Louisville. It's down to 6.5. That's bad, because when Caleb Williams announced he wasn't playing, I was like, oh, I'll jump on Louisville for a small bet. That was at 7.5. So it's actually would have been better for me to wait. This is why I don't give out too many gambling tips. And the Texas Bowl, Texas A&M and Oklahoma State. All right, so lots of ball games. Quickly on this day, did we do Frank's takes? Frank's fast takes. We're going to open the video. Why don't we open it up? There it is.
Begin.
All right, begin. On this day, is that the first one? Oh, happy birthday, Brock Purdy.
Yep.
Brock Purdy's birthday. Happy birthday to Brock Purdy. The San Francisco 49 quarterback turns 24. He's only 24 years old, which is 6 times the number of interceptions he threw on Christmas Day, which he threw 4, and that dropped his MVP odds from 1st to 5th. He was the leader. There was that guy who had took the payout, but anyway, 24 years old today.
Do you notice anything about that?
Let's see here. Purdy, 13. That is not Brock Purdy. That is a Harbaugh, or is that?
Yep.
Why did you put a picture of Harbaugh there?
Well, post game, the two of them met, and Harbaugh said that he's been hearing that the two of them look alike.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So we have their
face split. That's the creepiest thing we've been. Yeah, that is very creepy. Yeah, that's like the poster for Face Off. Remember the movie Face Off with John Travolta, Nicolas Cage, and they did that. Yeah, that's great. That's hysterical. I love it. Oh, I didn't hear that. I didn't know that. Very funny. All right. Anyway, the Niners are minus 13.5 versus the Washington Commanders. You know, when it's 13.5, I love to take that bet, as I did with Buffalo. What's that?
Moved down to 13. So they took some
down to 13.
Commander money.
Well, okay, on this day in sports history, one of my favorite players as a kid, Steve Largent, sets the all-time NFL record for career catches when he catches his 752nd pass. Steve Largent, number 80 for the Seattle Seahawks. Look at that helmet he wore. And that is Dave Craig right there throwing the ball to him. Largent was a beast, man. He'd go over the middle. He could run deep. He broke Charlie Joyner's record. Charlie Joyner, who Exactly, Charger. Charlie Joyner was on Air Coryell when they throw the ball, and they're so much fun. And then Largent went on he got a lot more catch, over 1,000, I think. Yeah, it was snowing. You see? Hey, it's snowing.
It's snowing.
It's snowing. It's snowing. Yes, I know. I watched it back last night. You can't hear him yell, it's snowing. And Dennis just goes, yes, It is snowing. Anyway, back to the Chiefs. It's hysterical. Ryan yelled, it's snowing to me, but no one heard it. And then we laughed like little schoolgirls. But Largent became like a congressman or something in Oklahoma. He went into politics.
Okay.
I don't know if he's still doing it. All right, and on this day in sports history, Super Mario returns. Mario Lemieux, who had retired. I remember I was in Vegas. I got chills watching him come out. 44 month, he was retired, and all of a sudden, it was out of the blue, right? There wasn't even many rumors. Now, Josh Yohe is going to be here to tell us about this because he can fill us in on how this all went down. But I was in Las Vegas, and I remember the announcement, and he comes in. I mean, look at this. Sticks up, boom. He gets 2 assists and a goal in his return. Pretty amazing. He hadn't scored in 1,340 days. And in that limited comeback that year, look at that. 35 games, 41 assists, 76 points.
35 goals.
35 goals, sorry. 41 assists, 76 points, and just 43 games played. He was actually the runner-up in the Hart Trophy to Joe Sakic, which is amazing. And then I didn't realize he played for another 5. He kept playing. He was amazing, Super Mario. So we're going to talk to Josh Yohe in a minute about that. Speaking of the Penguins, they're plus 120 at the New York Islanders tonight. Jari is in goal, total 6.5. And then the last happy birthday, ladies and gentlemen. This woman is at the top of my hall pass list. There she is. That would be Haley Williams, the lead singer of Paramore. Has nothing to do with sports. I just love her. And our director, her daughter's name is Haley Williams. Anyway, happy 35, Haley. Call me. I believe she watches the show. Right? Haley, are you watching? Saw him live at the Greek, one of the best shows ever, Paramore. Unbelievable band. Unbelievable. So happy birthday, Haley. Call me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring our guest in. I mean, let's just bring him in. Ralph, come on in, buddy. This gentleman hosts. Yeah, we're just going to bring Ralph in live, right? Let's do it.
Well, hang on. Close up Frank's.
Oh, we're going to close up Frank's
All
Fast
right,
Takes.
that's enough of that.
I met this gentleman briefly. He hosts the new show, our newest program here. Ralph, come on in. Ralph Siraco, ladies and gentlemen. Ralph, the host of. There he is, waving. He's got the South Point shirt on. Ralph, sit right. Where do you usually sit? Do you usually sit in this chair?
I'm short, but that's high.
I know. Look at. We're the
Anybody
same.
got a ladder so I can get on?
We're the same. Can you see us both? We're the same height. Right. Watch. Here's what I do. I kind of get the one leg up. All right, you're going with the big guy. Yeah, that one. I know. These are. Trust me, I don't like to try to sit on the chair. All right, I'm gonna climb up. There you go, Ralph. Ralphie boy, Ralph. Your show is a big hit here at South Point, our South Point Studios.
Oh,
you guys
sorry.
can watch the show. It's doing great, and it's great.
There's a lot of sick horse players out there. Love it.
Now I got to tell you, I grew up around the track. I'm in Pittsburgh. We had the Meadows, which was
The harness,
racing. Yeah. You had to go down to West Virginia to see your closest horses or dogs or whatever. But my dad and my uncle and some of my best friends, comedian friends I went to high school with, we went to the Ladbrokes, which was the OTB.
Yep.
And I learned how to bet from some really, really smart guys, and how to look at the length of a race. So I assume a lot of the people watching this, a lot of friends of mine are watching, aren't big horse bettors. We want to educate them a little bit, and that's what you can tell us all about that.
Well, in that case, then I'll find somebody.
Well, you get like a $2 exacta, or listen. I'm a win, place, or show guy. Now, isn't that probably the most basic bet? You're betting a horse to either win, place, or show, which is first, second, or third.
Or third, yeah.
Yeah, and I did that. I've done that. I've had remarkable luck at the Derby over the past few years doing that. Now, I didn't have the long
So you
shot.
got a good dartboard.
I did. I have a good dartboard.
Yeah.
I just throw a dart.
Right.
My sister Gina went on an epic run in the early 2000s.
Really?
Where she would just look by name. She didn't read a program, but she would pick. She went like 4 or 5 Derby winners in a row. It was ridiculous. But there's a science to it. You got to study the program.
But 2000 was Fusta Ichi Pegasus. How'd you come up with that
Are
name?
you serious? I don't know, because you know what? There was a bar in Pittsburgh called the Pegasus, and maybe.
Oh, there you are.
I think that might be it. I'd have to call and ask
Or
her.
she knows the Chinese.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So anyway, we always talk about the sports book here at South Point. We have the sports book here, but this is the only place in Vegas where the horses are separate over there.
You don't know how important that is. Both the sports players and horse players.
Explain why. Why you say
Well,
that?
the horse players they're studying.
Right.
They're racing forms and all
Absolutely.
that stuff. And the sports players do their study. They make the bet. and then they sit there for 2.5 to 3 hours and watch the game. And every time something happens in the game that's beneficial for their bet,
Right.
they scream and yell. I
Yeah.
do it.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And if you got that guy behind you screaming and yelling while you're trying to figure out should you bet this horse or not,
Right.
it gets to be aggravating.
Yeah.
So Mr. Gahn knew it.
Michael Gahn, the owner of
Yes,
South Point.
that's right. And he built separate race and sports books. Yet they are close enough to where if a guy, betting horses wants to come on over and bet a ball game or vice versa, it isn't too far. I mean, all you got to do is get by the bathrooms.
Well, that and the line for the hot dog cart.
Oh, man.
I'm telling you, I used the restroom before the show. 13 people in line. 13 people.
No. The hot dog cart will stop you from doing everything.
That's what separates. It's only about, what is it? It's about a 20-yard walk to get from the sports book into the horse racing. And it is a little more focused room.
Greatest deal in Las Vegas, that hot dog stand.
It's $1.50 for a delicious hot dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people line up. It's a lot. There was 13 or 14. It was
now, I'm going
13.
to tell you how old I am and how long I've been here.
Okay.
The hot dogs used to be 75 cents.
They've doubled it.
When gas was also $1.50.
Right.
And I always said, I'll bet you the gal that's serving those hot dogs. And you're talking about 300 or 400 hot dogs a day.
I know, right?
I said, she's probably got a house up on the hill somewhere that's like 4,800 square feet and paid for.
Looking down at
Buy
everybody.
those extra quarters that are the tips.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, she does great. I mean, the people who work the car, and they're very pleasant. They take their time. So if you're going to get a hot dog, it's not going to be rushed because they put a lot of love into this thing, and they pile on whatever you want.
And believe me, you don't get behind a fat guy or a guy with a note in his hand, because the guy with the note in his hand,
What's he doing?
He's buying 14 hot dogs for 13 of his other friends.
Yeah, right.
And they all want something different on a hot dog.
Right.
So you're going to be there a while.
It's like being stuck in the pretzel line on The Office, on pretzel day. So where are you born and raised, and how did you get into horse racing, Ralph?
Born in Jersey,
Okay.
Elizabeth, New Jersey,
I
which
heard
is the armpit of America.
Oh, that's.
But we were, when I was a kid, it was like you lived in a neighborhood, and you like out here you have friends.
Right.
There you had no friends. They were all your relatives. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
You just hung out with your relatives. That's all it was.
Yeah. Big family Italian gatherings.
Yeah,
sure.
Italian.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was there, and then that's what started your love of horses. And what track did you?
Well,
go
my
to?
love of horses. My dad took me to the races.
Okay.
And I remember, talking about hot dogs.
Yeah.
We got to the track at, Monmouth Park, and I said, "Oh boy," I said, "Hey, Dad," I said, "let's go get a hot dog." He says, "No, you got to wait until you win a race to get a hot dog.
You deserve it.
We get it from the winner." And so I never did have a hot dog there.
Took how many years before you had a hot dog?
I managed to get an ice cream.
Okay.
When it was real hot, but that was about it. Yeah.
Who are some of your favorite horses of all time? I mean, is it Secretariat? I mean, are these
two horses that stand
Seattle
out in my
Slew?
mind was Secretariat,
Okay.
which to me to this day is still the greatest horse I've ever seen.
Well, when they do that replay of the race he won by how many lengths was
30, 32, 33 lengths.
that? It was like he got a head start or something. I mean, it was just amazing.
Yeah, he was awesome. His heart, when they did the autopsy, when he finally died, his heart was twice as big as normal.
And do you think that made it
Absolutely
made the blood pump harder? and
Yeah,
faster?
you're taking more and your lung capacity and all that. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the Grinch's heart was 2 sizes too small.
Yeah.
Kind of appropriate that I'm wearing this today. And who else? Who's the other horse?
Flightline.
I don't know that name.
You do not, because this horse ran a couple of years ago.
Okay.
He just ran for a brief period of time, but his races were as awesome as Secretariat's
Really?
was. You go on YouTube and you tap in Flightline, and you see his Pacific Classic win down at Del Mar, and you see his Breeders' Cup Classic win in the Breeders' Cup, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Was that at Santa Anita?
The Breeders' Cup Classic, I believe that year was actually, I think that was at Del Mar as well.
Oh, okay.
But just look up Breeders' Cup Classic. You'll get it.
Okay. Now, Santa Anita is the track I used to go to when I lived in LA.
Beautiful place.
It really is. And if you ever see a movie or TV show where they're filming at a horse, it's there.
It's San Anita, sure.
Yeah,
right
it's
down the street from Hollywood.
Oh my God, it's beautiful. And they got the mountains, you got the palm trees, and it's awesome there. So what's around? There's no track in Vegas though, right? It's too hot, or
Well,
what's the closest track?
in this day and age with phone apps and this stuff and
South Point Sports app, which you can get.
Yeah, right. You go to the races here. You go to the races every day all over the country.
That's true.
When I stopped actually broadcasting, doing things at racetracks individually,
Mm-hmm.
I was traveling around the country and stuff like that. I came here to Vegas and I said, they just started bringing in the TV signals then. Before it was, and there they go, so-and-so, one
Just
of
hear a
those
radio
things.
call? Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying? Wow.
Oh, yeah, the disseminators had callers. I did that for a while here.
Did
too.
you?
Yeah.
Wow.
But in any case, when the signals came in, all of a sudden, the race players in Las Vegas, Nevada, were going to the races across the country. In other words, it wasn't just somebody in Southern California going to Santa Anita.
Right.
It was a guy sitting here going to Aqueduct early in the day, Santa Anita at night. So the horse players in this town, by virtue of the TV signal, got to be more acute
Wow.
handicappers
Yeah.
because they were watching all the different, circuits. And I said, wow, instead of me going to the tracks, they can come to me now. And so that's when I settled here in Vegas.
Yeah. How long ago was that?
Ooh. First time I came here was in 1983
Okay.
for the disseminator.
Okay.
Worked for the disseminator for a while. And then he was bought out. And then I went back to Southern California, hung out the beach and just, do whatever. And then I returned here in 84. And then that disseminator decided to be bought out by the other guy. And so I got the job as the track announcer at Garden State Park in 1985.
Oh, wow.
Called races there. But that was really a great racetrack, but they spent about $100 million more than they ever took in, so they were going broke quick. So after the first winter, the first snowfall, I went out on my front lawn and went down to the edge of the curb to get my mail, and I slipped and fell on my ass. And I came back and I told my wife, I says, get the boxes and start packing. Because when I had 4 one-year contracts, I said, when my first 1-year contract is up, we're getting the hell out of here, and I'm going back to the West Coast.
Get
And that's
some
what
sun.
we did. We
And
came
you
back
did.
here, yeah.
And that's how long you've been here. All right. So, what are some of the things that people find out about when they watch Race Day Las Vegas here on South Point Studios here on YouTube? What are they going to see? Who are some of your regulars, and what they offer picks, right? And I hear, was it today or yesterday, Sean? You were saying they were on fire yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday, yeah. So
the
tell us how the
guys
show
did good.
works and who you have on regularly.
Well, just like handicapping football or anything else, you got a lot of statistics and if you're going to do it right, you're going to
Tons of
spend
numbers.
time doing it.
Yeah.
And so for years, I used to get the form and handicap and all that. And through the years, I thought to myself, well, there's a lot of guys doing this as well as me.
Right.
And so I started handicapping the handicappers.
Keeping track.
And now what I have is I have a little stable of handicappers that have been in the game all their lives. They have their certain systems, some of them do numbers, and some of them, whatever their handicapping technique is,
Sure.
and their
Methods.
what they do. And so they're the best at what they do, I think.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Okay.
Secondly, and more importantly, is whatever they give out on the air, they're betting.
Yeah. Right. They're not just. Yeah. They're putting.
I mean, they're going to take some money out of the hip pocket
Right.
and risk it and bet it, and they're good players.
Yeah.
So I put together a stable of those guys,
Okay.
and they come on the show, and I open up and give my spiel, and then we go to those guys, and they give a particular.
And you
picks out.
yourself, you don't give picks, right? You just
No,
You're
I
just there
don't.
to MC.
No. I
host the
play.
show. You
I play, and I have an opinion once in a while, but that's not my. I'm the host here, trying to bring those the handicappers to the people, etc. I'm one of them. I'm one of the guys out there sitting in the book,
Right.
and that's
Studying.
the way I want to be. I didn't want to be like a host that was a guy in a suit and tie telling you what to
Right.
do.
I'm wearing a Grinch thing, for God's sake.
Exactly.
Right.
Right?
That's-
People respect you more because you're one of them.
Yes, exactly.
I'm one of you.
Yes, I'm one of you people. Yesterday I think you had quite a few winners yesterday.
Yeah,
And the
we
track
had
record is good.
Yeah, we had 5 selections on the show, 5 picks, 4 of them won, and then our one of our guys who's based here in town, he does only Southern California. So when he
okay.
doesn't do Southern California, and they weren't racing a lot this year, they only race 3 days a year. He started doing handicapping sports, and he's really good at football and college football. And so he gave us, unfortunately, Kansas to cover the spread. So
Kansas last night.
yeah,
Kansas did cover.
yeah, they did.
Yeah, they beat UNLV. Is that what you're saying?
yeah,
Unfortunately,
right, yeah.
Actually, Dennis Evans, who was on our program yesterday, who's a sportscaster, he liked Kansas, and it was 49-36, I believe. I think they won by 13 points.
Yeah, they did. Now some guys
Bean went off,
guys
yeah,
got it below 13, and other guys the highest it went was a 13-point spread.
Okay.
So those people kissed their sister, but the others
It was
actually
a
won.
tie. So you're a football fan as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Now,
Love
who's
it.
your team? Are you Jersey? Are you
Oh,
Giants?
no, I'm Raiders.
You're a Raiders fan?
And I'll tell you why.
Yeah, please, because
When my family migrated to Southern California, you start out being a Ram fan, but I really like the Raiders all the time in Northern California, especially. I'm dating myself.
Ken
now, but,
Stabler days, or
no. You had
the Daryl LaMonica?
the Mad Bomber,
the Mad Bomber,
Daryl LaMonica.
Daryl LaMonica,
yes,
yeah, right.
Daryl
Okay,
LaMonica.
yeah.
Okay, and he was the first one that actually threw big long passes.
Yeah.
And I remember because he used to always get behind the 8 ball, and then the coach would bring in George Blanda, and George Blanda would do nothing but march the team right down the field with screen passes.
Right.
That's all it was, screen passes. Boom, 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 and the next thing you know, he's on the 2-yard line.
Yeah.
And then after they scored, he stayed there to kick the point.
It was his birthday recently, right? It was George Blanda's birthday, and he still holds the single season points record or whatever. We talked.
He has to.
And
right?
by the way, he played till he was 46, or 49. It was something ridiculous, but he looked like he was 75. I mean,
oh yeah.
They lived a little harder.
I'm
back then.
sure he was partying at night too.
Yeah, but he kicked. He was quarterback. What did you find out?
It was episode 49.
He was 49.
Yeah.
He played till he's 49.
Yeah, that's why we had him.
played
It was
till he
episode
was 49.
Yeah. Oh, it was episode 49. So we always find numbers that equate. He played till he was 49.
49.
And we're talking in the 70s when guys broke down. There wasn't training. There was no dietitians.
No, they were out partying. Everybody had a beer belly.
There was no cryogenic chambers and stuff like that. So you followed the Raiders, then they come down to L.A.
Then they went to L.A.
Right.
So now I'm going to the Coliseum watching them play football, right? So then I leave town. I start on my little trek around the country. And they go back to Oakland. And then the next thing I know, I'm here in Vegas, and they come here.
They come here.
They're following me.
They're following you. So you're staying here, though, right? So they're not leaving Vegas.
No, they better not.
Now, on Christmas Day, they were huge underdogs against the Chiefs.
Oh, man.
I mean, and they
Come
came
on.
The Chiefs are...
What kind of team is this? You can't score 3 points in one game, and then you score all those points against Kansas City.
Yeah, and then the week before against the Chargers, it was 63 points, right? Yeah, they're I don't know.
So, in other words, I mean, to me, that exemplifies this year's NFL.
Yeah,
you just
totally.
don't know.
You do not know about any team or any given Sunday. Of course,
Absolutely.
Now, have you been to this Allegiant Stadium yet to see a game?
Yes, I have.
I haven't been yet.
It's a great stadium.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Who do the Raiders play this week? Actually, is it division?
The Raiders
game?
play in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
Ooh, they're playing the Colts. Now, I'm rooting for the Raiders big time because I need the Colts to lose. I need the Texans to lose if my beloved Steelers are to eke into the playoffs somehow. Of course, we have to beat Seattle first, which is going to be a huge undertaking, but got Mason Rudolph. So you're a Raider. You never followed the Jets or Giants?
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
And do you remember when the Jets won with Namath?
Oh, come on.
Right. I mean, that had to, you weren't
He was almost a 2-touchdown dog, wasn't he?
I know, right? And he guaranteed the win.
He guaranteed
It's
it.
from Beaver Falls. That's where I was born. And finally, just tell us how much fun are you having on the horse show? And you're getting great numbers. People are watching and sharing the show. So would tell people what they should be doing watching the show.
Well, here's the thing. We've been on since 1996.
Yeah, you did this on radio. I should.
Yeah, I did. Well, actually, and before that, I was doing a TV show, a half-hour TV show in the morning. And we were busting our butt and all that and didn't make a dime. We were trying to get the thing, and we finally got it off the ground and all that. It was on Channel 39 here, and they turned it into a Hispanic station.
Okay.
So now we were screwed.
Right.
So I was kind of hanging out at the Barbary Coast, and Muggsy Muniz, who was the
Muggsy Muniz.
Muggsy.
I don't know who is this.
Robert Muniz. Nobody knows Robert Muniz.
Well, maybe
he's
Ann does.
great.
And you know Muggsy? No.
Oh, you got. Oh, see, I'm really feeling old. Muggsy.
I was on Daryl LaMonica with you. I remember
And
all that
Muggsy
stuff.
was one of the right-hand guy over there at the race book at the Barbary.
I'm sure Chris knows him, right?
Oh,
Of
absolutely, yeah. And,
Might be in his book as well.
I'm going to tell you one thing right now. He could write a book about Muggsy, but I digress.
Okay, that's
In any case, we were sitting in the back in the Barbary Coast in the seats in the back, and he had a couple of handicappers up there that were doing a runoff or something, and the place was full. He said, "Look at this. These guys are going to hear. They're all going to give you the 4 to 5 favorites in the race, and I got the place packed." He said, "You should take that radio TV show and put it on radio." And he said, "Do me a favor." He said, "Find out if you can." I said, "Well, I know a guy from back east that is running a radio station."
Yeah.
So he says, "Well, go." So I went there. I talked to the guy. Come back. I told him. He said, "Okay, put money in there for yourself.
Okay.
Put it in a contract. Let me get it. Bring it to me tomorrow." So I brought it to him tomorrow. Honestly, I got there. It was 20 minutes to post time for the first race.
Okay.
He takes the contract. He goes upstairs. Before the daily double was done,
Yeah.
Michael Gahn not only signed that contract, he put us in business in 1996.
Wow.
And he's been a sponsor of ours ever since. So whatever he wants, whatever this place wants, he's got me.
Well, we got you now, Ralph, and we couldn't be happier. And people can watch Race Day Las Vegas with Ralph Siraco.
Yeah, well,
7 to 8 a.m., and that's Sunday or Wednesday through Sunday.
Yep.
And so you're on today's Wednesday. I'm all messed up with Christmas.
Yeah.
You were on today, and how'd it go today?
Well,
Gave some winners out?
Today all the major racetracks weren't running.
Oh, Wednesday. Okay.
So I had a guy that gave us a pick. I don't know the rate.
He hit.
He hit.
The Parks one hit. The other one's
The Parks one hit.
Oh my goodness!
Look at that.
Don't tell me what the horse paid because I'm sitting here talking to him. How much did it cost me?
What did the horse
How
pay?
much did it cost me now?
Oh, you mean it just happened? The race just happened?
Yeah, I was out in the book. I was waiting and it came over.
no.
I think it was $3.40.
Oh, $3.40. Okay, that's good.
Okay,
Now,
not
here's the
mad.
thing. People say, well, these are favorites. But if you do it versus sports, if you bet 100, you have to bet 110 in sports and in football
That's
to
what
win
it was.
100.
Sure, right.
Okay, you pay the same $100 in horse racing, and they're going to pay you back $250.
Yeah.
You get your 100 plus 1.5 back.
Yeah.
So it's anybody out there that likes sports, and I love it. Take a shot and try a little bit of the horse racing.
And if you need a little education on that, you can check out Ralph tomorrow at 7 a.m. Pacific, live right here on South Point Studios YouTube page. Ralph, thank you for being here. I'm sorry if we took away winner from you.
That's okay, pal. You're not the first one.
All right, I'll have to try to make it up to you someday. All right, we'll be right back with Josh Yohe in 2 minutes. Thank you, Ralph, for coming in.
You got it, my man. Anytime.
Outstanding.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rock and dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grandview Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show. Every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grandview Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grandview Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Hey, welcome back to Punchlines. I'm Frank Nicotero. Thank God that horse didn't pay like a monumental payout, or Ralph would have we'd never see Ralph again. But it actually won. So, again, you guys got to watch the show. They're giving out, he has these experts on. What a character he is. What a great guy, Ralph. And the paperboy hat that he had on. He looks like a guy that you'd see hanging out at the track talking about horses. And that's exactly what he does. So make sure you guys watch Race Day Las Vegas tomorrow at 7 a.m. I don't know if this gentleman will be up in time. It'd be 10 a.m. his time. Ladies and gentlemen, making his 4th or 5th appearance on this show. Is he in the 4 or 5 Timers Club? It's Josh Yohe.
Yeah, Josh.
Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you for squeezing me in one more time before the new year. I don't know if I can get a tax write-off out of this or what, but I appreciate it.
We'll look into that. Talk to Bill Neofus would probably know the answer to that. Anyway, we had Ralph here talking about the horses. Do you ever bet horses at all?
No, that's the one area of gambling degenerate behavior I haven't gotten to just yet. It's a matter of time. I mean, I grew up in Peters Township, 10 minutes from the Meadows.
Wow.
For those of you here with Pittsburgh geography,
Yeah.
so it was right down. I don't know how I didn't fall into the trap.
Yeah, the harness racing. I went one time, and I always used to just call them the chariots. Me and my buddy David Michael, who's been on the show, we'd go out and we'd be drinking. I'm like, let's bet the chariot. I don't like betting the chariots. I hated betting. They were called harness racing, but the chariots. But yeah, I went out there one time. It was a good night, and then I've done stand up out there too because they have like a little nightclub. But yeah, but I mean, I do bet. Look, I'm like a casual horse fan. I'll bet the Derby. I'll bet the Preakness or whatever. The Triple Crown's fun. But the sports book here, the fact that we do have it separate with the horses over here, it is intense over there, man, because there are guys just pouring over programs, and Ralph's show's giving out winners. So that could be your second act in your life. You can be a horse guy.
Well, I've gotten destroyed by the NFL so much in the last month that I think I should broaden my horizons and maybe look around for other places to indeed spend my money. So maybe it is.
Well, listen, you're talking to a guy who guaranteed Buffalo as a lock over the Chargers, minus 13 or 14, whatever it was. I'm like, guys, this is the play of the year. My other play of the year was the Lions over the Ravens in Baltimore, and they lost by 97 points. I don't know. Yeah, look, I'm here to just bring people in that know what they're talking about. But it has been. I know every year people go, it's been a weird year to bet football, but it seems like this year is.
This one is off the charts weird. So I'm in this other league where I just pick straight up winners and losers.
Okay.
And I'm like in third place in that league. I'm doing great. And in Bill's league against the spread, I don't think I've won a month. So, no, nothing about the league makes sense right now.
Right.
I was convinced the Niners were going to win the Super Bowl until Christmas night. Now it's like, maybe they aren't as good as we all thought. And nothing makes sense, but it will make for a fun postseason.
It's going to be a great postseason.
Anything could happen. We don't know.
We do
really
not
don't.
know. We do not know. By the way, I'm looking at the Chase standings. Who's that in second place? Oh, me. Anyway, Josh and I battled it out a couple years ago to the last game. So I don't know. I don't know if maybe I'm getting a little advantage being out here in Vegas. So we mentioned this earlier in the show on this date in sports history in 2000. One of the greatest comebacks ever. Mario Lemieux comes back. Where were when you found out? I was in Vegas when I was watching in my room, and I saw the ticker say Mario Lemieux plans to return. How did this happen? And this, if I remember, and I could be wrong, was it like a sudden thing or were there rumors? I don't remember there being much. So tell us about Mario's comeback.
There were no rumors at all. It was totally sudden. I was in college. I was living at home, commuting to college at Point Park. I was 20 years old. And the news actually broke on Pearl Harbor Day 2000. I'll never forget it. And I had an 8 a.m. class that was canceled. It was like the greatest feeling in the world. You can go back to sleep. So I go back to sleep. A couple hours later, my grandma is standing over my bed, like shaking me like she thinks I'm dead. I said, Grandma, what's the matter? She said, turn the radio on. She's like, old Pittsburgh lady, I have KDK radio on all day.
Right, yeah.
I don't even have a radio. What's going on? She said, Mario's coming back. I'm like, what? Then I turned on the TV. I was like, oh my God. And it was, that was like 3 weeks of total bliss in Pittsburgh. Like nobody ever thought it could happen. And it did. And the night he came back on this day, 23 years ago, which is hard to believe.
Yeah.
Just as a sports fan, that was the best night of my life. And I've seen the Steelers win Super Bowls.
Right.
That night was, it just was.
Now, where were you for the game? Were you at the game?
No, I was a poor college student.
Right.
Tickets were getting a little that one, but I had a party with my friends. And it's kind of funny. I don't know if, like when you're young, you have that one group of, or that one friend in your group that doesn't like sports that much, but he just shows up anyway to be polite. Yeah. But we had a guy, his name was Jay, and he was my neighbor growing up, and he made some comment in the first period. He says, he's just coming back to make money out of this. And I looked at him, I said, Jay, you're going to have to leave the house now. I'm as close as a pacifist as you can get. I am not a confrontational man, but I was being completely serious. My girlfriend at the time, she says, Josh, don't be so mean. I said, no, you have to leave. And he's like, fine. And he got up and he left. And we've never really spoken since. And that's okay. You can't trash 66 on that night of all nights. So we had a big party at my house. I will never. And the cool thing about that, and I know you'll agree with me, the man hadn't played in almost 4 years, right? We all knew he was going to score that night. Yeah. We knew he was going to have a big night because it was just him. He wasn't going to fail on that stage, and we all knew it. And I have talked with so many people over the years, people I looked up to when I was young, like Mike Lang and Stan Savran, people like that, and they all told me that was their favorite night covering the Penguins ever by far. There was not a close second. There was just something magic excuse me, about that
the
night.
arena was, it was on fire. It was crazy.
Yeah.
You said it was announced on Pearl Harbor Day. So December 7th when it was announced, and today's the 27th. So within 20 days, he's back. So that's also incredible, right? I mean, you would have thought he was planning on like a later, and he's like, give me 3 weeks. I'll be back.
I think he had skated with Jay Caulfield for a couple of weeks before. For those who don't know, he was Mario's enforcer back in the 80s and early 90s. And he kind of is into hockey training now. So Mario hadn't played in almost 4 years. He's 35. So he skated for a couple of weeks with Jay Caulfield. Then I think he had 4 or 5 practices with the team. Then he said, all right, I'm good. And he came back and he had 12 points in his first 4 games. He had a 10-game scoring streak to start. He put up, 35 goals, I think, in 43 games. Listen, he's the greatest hockey player of all time.
That's where I was just gonna say. So how do you better than Gretzky? He has a higher per game scoring average than Gretzky, but I mean he was just bigger than Gretzky. So what's your argument? How do you win an argument saying Lemieux's the best?
Sure. Here's what I always say, and I mean this sincerely. Wayne Gretzky is the most accomplished hockey player ever, by far.
Right.
No one's even close. He might be the most accomplished athlete in the history of North American professional sports, maybe other than Jordan. Tell me one thing Gretzky did better than Mario. Just go ahead and tell me, because I will tell you 10 things that Mario did better than Gretzky, whether it be just how big and strong he was, a better shot, better on breakaways, better backhand, better wrist shot. We can go better stick handler. We can do this all day. He was just so much more physically gifted, and that's not a knock on Gretzky. Obviously, Gretzky was a genius, and the numbers speak for themselves, but Gretzky also came along at the perfect time with the perfect teammates. Everything just was perfect for him, right? And Mario was different. So there's always that what if quality to Mario's career because of his health and the horrible team he had to play on his first 5 years. We can go on and on. But I always say, and I guess I wouldn't win an argument in the court of law saying this, but if you ever saw him play in person in his prime, you understand. You just know he was better than anyone, and it really wasn't even close. He was just a larger than life figure, and I'm sure we're biased because we're from Pittsburgh,
right.
But I've never seen a more physically gifted athlete in my life in any sport. Wow. I really haven't.
Now, Ryan, where were you the December 27th, 2000? Were you watching the game?
I was 8 months old.
So maybe your parents put you in front of the screen to get you hooked on hockey. Who's the greatest hockey player in your opinion, Ryan?
Well, I mean, I didn't get to see Gretzky or Lemieux, so
who's the best you saw? You've seen?
I mean, I have to say Patrick Kane.
Okay, he's a Chicago Blackhawks guy. So his most valued Christmas present that you got a Connor Bedard jersey, am I right? How come you haven't worn that? You're saving that. Yeah, he's a big Chicago guy. So,
well, Kane's the best American player ever for sure. I will certainly say that.
Yes.
Didn't he just re-sign with somebody?
Detroit.
Yeah, okay, how's he doing? How's he doing with that?
He had like 10 points in the 10 games that he's played. So
he's done. He's done.
Right.
He's done better than the Pistons all by himself.
He's doing better than any other player that had hip restructure surgery.
Right.
So.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, I had a little bit of money on the Pistons money line last night just to try to look like a genius, and they were actually winning in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we've been talking about that and how the ending of the game unfolded. Now, tomorrow they have the Celtics. We don't have a line yet on that game, but we can go ahead and mark that down we can go ahead and just chalk that up as the 28th loss right there.
I would think so.
Because if there is a money line, tomorrow's the night to take it.
Actually, why not? Throw $5 on for a millionaire at the end of the night. I feel like that story is almost underplayed right now, how many games in a row they've lost.
It really is.
Wow.
It seems like, I mean, I know like ESPN will put it on, but I agree with you. It's like this team, this is, someone said, I don't know who it was, if it was Kendrick Perkins, someone was saying, it's harder to lose 27 games in a row than it is to win 27 games in a row. I don't know what he means by that. That sounds a little crazy, but it's like in baseball, when you lose 20 games, they say it takes a good pitcher to lose 20 games because that means you're in the game a lot, you're starting. But it doesn't apply to basketball. You lose 27, 28 games, you're a bad team.
Yeah, now it's to the point where I would think every team will be up for them because you don't want to be the team that loses to them.
That's a great point. That is a great point. Exactly. Man.
Know how athletes are wired. They don't want to be that team. And I was in Detroit. The Penguins played there in October, and they just happened to have the Pistons roster outside the locker room. And I was looking at it like, well, I don't know any of these people. They might be really bad, but I didn't think they'd be historically bad. This is the poor people of Detroit. I just focus on the Wolverines this week, I guess.
Well, yeah. Well, that's exactly what they got. The Lions. I was just going to go into that. Now, college football. What do you think of the college football playoff? We got Michigan playing Alabama, and then Washington, Texas. Do you follow the college football? Who's your team?
I do. I don't really have a
Point
team.
Park? Does Point Park have a team?
Did not have a
football team, maybe.
I find Saban versus Harbaugh very difficult to cheer for either.
Yeah.
So I will certainly be rooting for whoever wins in the Texas-Washington game.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I wouldn't be shocked if Alabama just wins the whole thing because they're Alabama, and they shouldn't have even been there probably. And they won the Auburn game in the last second, but it would be like them. They still probably have more talent than anybody. But Alabama, Michigan on New Year's Day, I'll be watching for sure.
Absolutely,
there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, they're going to be two great games. I can't wait to watch them. Let's see. Do we have any live? A lot of people are talking about hockey. A lot of people are talking about horses on the live comments. Josh, this is like the 4th or 5th time. So how are you going to ring in New Year's?
Boy, this is just awful. The Pittsburgh Penguins host the New York Islanders at 6:00 on New Year's Eve at PPG Paints. It can't even be a fun team to watch. It has to be the Islanders. So there might be intoxication in the press box by about 8:00. I don't know. It's very much in play. And I've also the Steelers play at 4:00.
Yeah.
And I'm in my fantasy football final that day as well. So I'm going to be. It might be the worst article I've ever written. It's in play. I'm going to be a really distracted human being.
So Josh, who writes for The Athletic, don't look for a great column on New Year's Day or whatever.
Nope.
And Ryan, anything?
Well, I just had a quick question about New Year's
it.
Day. The only hockey game is Vegas-Seattle.
There you go.
Do you have any sort of look ahead at that game in
Seattle, right?
In Seattle, in the baseball stadium.
Well, it'll be a beautiful scene. Like I have mixed feelings about outdoor hockey. I'm kind of a hockey snob, right? And growing up in Pittsburgh in the 80s and 90s, we like our hockey scores to be like 7-6, not 2-1, right? High-scoring hockey. And the outdoor games often are not good for that because the ice isn't real good. It makes for a slower game, not always entertaining. But I cannot deny just the visual beauty of watching, these baseball and football stadiums all dolled up with the ice rinks. And if you get a nice day, maybe a little bit of snow in the air, it's a wonderful television event. It really is. I don't necessarily love them in person as much. You're so far away from them.
So far away.
But to watch it on TV, it's a nice little warm up for the bowl games or whatever. Yes, it's not a bad thing. And it's become a huge moneymaker for the league. And I will say this, Seattle is an underrated sports town, and they are in love with the Kraken. I mean, every time I'm there, the merchandise is just selling like crazy. That city loves that team.
Wow. And the game, the Seattle Kraken, there was a lot of people wearing stuff here, so I didn't know why. I thought maybe they were in town tonight, but they're not. But it's always a fun game to watch. The halftime show, they try to do like a in between not halftime. But in between periods, they usually try to do something fun, too, at these games. And I don't know. So who do you like in that game, then? I know it's a ways away. Who's playing better hockey right now?
I'll go with Vegas. They're used to the big stage.
Yeah.
And they've been good this year. I mean, they cooled off after the great start that they had.
How could
but they are going to be – they will be formidable come playoff time, no question. So I'd probably lean in that direction. And I will say, what a success story both of those franchises are for the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
A couple of expansions. I don't need to tell you how big that team is in Vegas. That city's in love with that team.
It's
even
giant.
before
Ryan's a huge fan, obviously. He goes to a lot of games. Yeah, it's amazing. And then here's the last thing, one on a gambling thing. Over under during the game, shots of coming back and going to commercial of players from each team catching a fish down at the market in Seattle.
Oh, man. I'm going to say the over-under would be – it's going to be real high, right?
I think so.
Let's bet the over, whatever.
Let's bet the – I'm going to set it about – that's every sporting event in Seattle, especially a national televised game. They always have players down at the market. So when we were filming there, I was filming there, and we were going to try to do it where I got to catch a fish. They charged like $2,500. That's just to catch a fish. That was the permit fee. So I don't know if the NFL and the NHL, they get a break, but I'm sure we're going to see a lot of them trying to catch the fish and go, oh my God, I got it. But I'm going to set it over 4.5.
I was going to guess 3.5. Either way, I would go over. It's like every city has its right in Pittsburgh.
Right.
How many times were they incline going?
That and the permani sandwich being made. Yeah.
And Blimp shot it downtown. The broadcaster said, "Oh, Pittsburgh is a very pretty town. It's underrated." Like,
They're always amazed. Well, Josh, you are not underrated. You are the best. So thank you for being on the show. We appreciate it. Happy New Year. We'll see you next year. We'll look into the tax write-off thing. Well, I don't know. We'll look into that. But thank you, Josh, for being on the show, as always.
Thank you, Josh. Happy holidays.
All right.
Happy New Year. I will see you in the flesh in 3 weeks.
Oh, my God, that's right. Carrot Top and the Penguins in Vegas in January. We got to have you come in. We'll have you and Bill come in. We'll see you. That's right. We'll see you when you're in town. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in 2 minutes, and we have 2 more of the top moments of the year here on Punchline. So we'll be back in 2 minutes.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rock and dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Joey B says, Ryan, you need Ralph's hat to complete the look. You would have looked good in that hat. I think that would be a nice ensemble for you.
Think so? In the plaid hat?
Yeah, those are called paperboy hats, right? I think they're called paperboy hats. Anyone?
No.
Now I feel like I'm 1,000 years old for referring it to as that. Ralph Siraco, a man of the people. Absolutely. Josh Yohe was great. A couple things we didn't mention, Russell Wilson being benched. Russell Wilson being benched for the last 2 games by the Broncos. Let's ride. So instead, now to me, let's sit. Let's sit on the bench and watch, not Trevor Siemian.
Jared Stidham.
Stidham.
Yeah.
Stidham.
Jared Stidham.
Jason Statham. Jason Statham's quarterback
Yes.
for the Denver Broncos. All right, let's run a play now. Jason Statham here. Oh, that wasn't bad. Who knew I had a Jason Statham impression? I mean,
Jason Statham.
we know you guys are clamoring to see a couple more of our top moments from the show, and we're going to go to one of my favorite stories. This is Andy Martello, local Vegas guy, local Vegas legend, telling a story about Michael Jordan and the Blues Brothers. Take a look.
I used to make pretty good living for a while being a Blues Brothers impersonator. I had a booking with my partner, so we are going to the gig. It just so happened that our gig was on the very day that Michael Jordan was returning to Chicago to play against the Bulls, and we can't get into the... And my partner was like, well, what are we going to do? I said, we're going to walk in. We're the Blues Brothers.
The Blues Brothers.
So we get to the security thing. I reach in my pocket and I pull out a crushed pack of cigarettes and I show him that as my ID. Elwood reaches into his bag, pulls out a burnt piece of toast. And the guy just goes, come right on in. Now, they have saved an elevator for Doug Collins and Michael Jordan. So we get on the elevator. Michael Jordan is directly across from me, Doug Collins, and then me and Elwood standing next to each other. No one is saying a word. So I lean over forward to Michael Jordan, and I said, must be pretty intimidating being on the elevator with somebody so important. And he leads in, and he goes, I'll never get used to that.
That is fantastic. Andy we got to have Andy back in the new year. He was great. Great storyteller. That was our highest rated clip for a long time, most viewed. And I know Andy took that personal when it got passed. So he's got to come in with another great story. He's outstanding. Minnie Dar points out South Point loves horse players. Yes, come down, bet horses here at South Point. And our final great moment of the year, we're not really doing a top 10. We're just showing you like a handful of moments that we love. It's my friend Melissa Peterman, the host of People, Place, Person, Place, or Thing, a game show that you can watch daily all around the country 5 days a week, just like our show, but it's on TV. But ours is on TV too if you have the app, right? You put South Point, you put YouTube up on your TV. This is Melissa Peterman talking about her first film role in the movie Fargo that was filmed in Minnesota. I don't know how often you've played Person, Place, or Thing, but I have a version specified to Melissa Peterman, ladies and gentlemen, that I thought we would play. And I will tell you, if we're going to start with a person. It's a person.
Is this person alive?
Yes.
Is this person female?
Yes.
Is this person an entertainer?
Yes. Yes, it's her.
Now you have to give me a clue.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm supposed to give you a clue. It's fictional character.
Oh, fictional.
Yes.
Oh,
So how
is
could
it
she be
fictional?
alive?
Is this character?
What was it?
Well,
So how could she be alive?
How could she be alive? It's because she's alive. She's alive in our hearts. Because film lives forever. Yeah.
Oh, it's film.
It's film.
Oh, so it's from a movie.
Fictional movie.
From a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take a guess. Is it Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz?
No, here's your third clue. You.
It's hooker number 2 from the movie Fargo.
Yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is. Now, Melissa made her
She is
film.
alive and well. According to all of my sources, she is working as a locksmith now. She's off the streets. She's working as a locksmith. She's got 3 cats. She's dating again, recently divorced. She's wonderful, that hooker number 2.
One of my favorite kids. She's hysterical. Melissa, I love you so much. That was great. The new season of Fargo, the TV show's out. I'm backed up on it. Chris Andrews is telling me I got to watch it. I haven't started yet, but that story is hysterical. She was hooker number 1.
Did you end up starting Bookie?
I did. I can't believe you just said that. I watched 5 of them last night. I was enjoying it.
Yeah,
it's good.
I think it's really good too.
Yeah, I was really enjoying it. The last episode, I'm trying to remember what happened. The guy who's placing the heavy bets on Monday Night Football. Yeah, and by the way, that bar they shot that at, if Christian Hansen's watching, that's Champs. I've been to that sports bar many, many times, and that's where I think they're part owners, because remember the guy comes out and goes, "Hey, you're in charge of this bar too." So I've been to that bar. So it's enjoyable. It's on HBO Max. They made a mistake, which Chris pointed out on Twitter. There was a money line. He said, "Oh, you got to pay the juice on the." There's no juice on a money line.
Yeah.
There's no vig. Should have had a technical advisor there, for God's sakes. Anyway, what a great show. Ralph, thank you. Make sure you guys check out, if you haven't yet, make sure you check out Race Day Las Vegas with Ralph tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Pacific. It's here live. The over-under on Josh Yohe's appearances in 24, I don't know. We'll get Parles to set an over-under. We have it at about 15, someone said. Was Joey B as well. Lucky Man, thanks for joining in. Minnie Dar pointing out the horses are great. What a fun show. We'll be back tomorrow. Jeff Parles, speaking of Jeff Parles, will be here. I will also be on Sports by the Book, making an appearance somewhere around the hotel. We'll be talking about Thursday Night Football. So we appreciate you guys watching. We're up to like 928 subscribers. The drive for 1,000 is real. What a fun show. And I want to thank Ann for leaving a picture of Haley Williams up for most of the show in the monitor that you guys couldn't see. It's gone now. It's Russell Wilson stats.
Did you see it in the thought bubble? Was you?
No. On Haley?
Yeah.
Can we see the Haley thing one more time on program?
Was Frank.
There she is. She's dreaming of me. Oh, there it is. She's so into me. That's one of their songs. Still into you. Ain't it fun? That's another one of their songs. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching Punchlines, Lines, live in Nevada, every show.